Paul, you're all right. We've worked things out now, remember? All right. So Rufus, why is what you did bullying?
Because I felt like I needed to hurt him to feel good about myself.
That's right. And Paul, how did you provoke Rufus into bullying you?
No. I'm sorry, Jessica, but that's complete bullshit. I did not provoke Rufus. You let all of this happen, Rufus. You being poor is not an excuse for being an arrogant dick. Why couldn't any of you just forgive me? Hell, why did you even have to bully me in the first place? And you? Do you just bully people because you're rich and have nothing better to do? Are you gonna tell me that you bullied me just because you were bored? You could have just left me alone when I moved back, but you didn't. Do you have any idea how many lives you ruined?
Paul, please, calm down. We're here to work things out. It's all in the past.
Yeah, and it still hurts everyone now. Bullshit excuses like being poor are not gonna fix all the damage these assholes have done.
Paul, wait.
No. I'm done with this shit. I don't want to deal with it anymore.
Paul, please, come back. Come back.
What if all this never happened? Would I be happier? I never would have met Jessica. Talia never would have met Ashley. But then, Harrison never would have been able to hurt anyone. Why can't I forgive them? Why don't they want to forgive me? I guess I can't keep on being angry about this forever. Anger never solves anything. It's over now. There's nothing else I can do. I'll never know why they did it. And if they never forgive me, I'll just have to accept it. Mom, Dad?
Oh, hello, Paul. We didn't hear you come in.
What are you guys doing?
We're going to a PAB meeting tonight, hun. You remember Janet, don't you?
Yeah, but where are you going to her meeting? Who's gonna look after Talia?
Well, Paul, we think you're mature enough to look after yourself and Talia for an hour or two. We've also left some money on the counter for you to order a pizza.
And if you need anything, call Bompa and Marisi. They'll be right over.
I will. Thanks. But you still haven't answered my question about PAB. Where are you guys even going?
Well, your mother and I feel that
We feel that those Bastards, who bullied you, need real punishment. Listen, Paul. We just want to share your experiences with others who went through the same thing. We think it will be helpful for them.
You see, Paul. As parents, we sort of feel a sense of duty. Not only to you and your sister, but to other kids too.
And if we don't say anything, we feel as though we would be doing you and Talia a disservice.
That's right. And we'd be neglecting all the other students in Wilford Heights too.
So, is it okay with you if we share your experiences? We wouldn't want to do anything without asking you first.
Yeah, I guess it's fine. I hope the meeting goes well.
Thank you, hun, it will. We'll tell everyone about what happened to you. Let's go, we don't want to be late. Don't forget the signs.
Well, Talia's in her room, and the pizza money's on the counter. We should be home no later than 9. But just in case the meeting runs longer, give us an extra hour or so.
Alright, Dad, thanks. Hey, Dad.
Yes?
Please let me know how the meeting goes.
Yes, of course, Paul. Maybe you can come along to the next meeting. Anyway, we'll see you later. And make sure Talia is in bed at 8.
Got it.
Oh, and be sure to read her that Mabel story. She really likes that one. Or maybe Wind and the Willows, that's her other favorite.
Okay, I will. By the way, can I order from Fernando's? I haven't had their pizza since we moved back here. I'm starting to miss it.
Do they even deliver this far north?
I think so. I can check on their website. But if not, I'll just order from pizza.net.
Well, if they do deliver here, let us know. Bampa has been wondering the same thing. He really enjoys that place too. He had a good rapport with that young man, the delivery guy. What was his name?
Joey? Yeah, he's really cool.
That's right, Joey. Well, if you decide to go with them, and he ends up being on delivery, tell him I said hello.
Fernando, let's go. We're gonna be late.
Well, that's my cue. You and Talia stay safe, and enjoy the pizza.
Thanks, Dad. We will.
Paul, where are Mommy and Daddy going?
They're going to a meeting.
Mommy said it was about those mean boys. She looked sad. And angry. But I thought you got rid of them.
You're right. I did.
Then, why is Mommy still so sad?
Well, do you remember when you dropped your ice cream cone, and I bought you a new one?
Yeah, I was still upset. But, this is different. She looked sadder than me. And what happened with the mean boys? I keep asking Mommy, but she won't tell me anything. They couldn't have just said mean things. Nobody stays sad when somebody says mean things for that long.
I'll tell you one day when you're older. It's a bit difficult to explain, and it still upsets a lot of people.
But, why can't anyone just tell me now? I know that you're all trying to make sure I don't get sad. But one day, you have to tell me, okay? Promise.
I promise, Talia. Shake on it.
So, it's this button, right?
Yes, Mom. For the 3rd time, it's this button.
All right, I was just making sure. Do you know how to?
Here, just let me do it for you.
Everyone, welcome. Sorry, was that too loud? I've never used one of these mics before. Thank you, Rachel. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janet Sinclair. And I want to thank you all for showing up to our inaugural meeting for Parents Against Bullying. We have a lot of very important things on this evening's agenda that we will be discussing. And please, feel free to chime in any time you like. And I don't know about any of you, but I will do my damnedest to destroy the lives of those bullies.
Hell yes.
That's right. Those bastards thought they could push our children around, bully them under our noses. They thought there would be no consequences. Well, we are going to be those consequences. There is no escape for bullies. No second chances. These bastards choose to destroy the lives of their victims? Then we will destroy theirs.
Stop the bullying.
All right. Tonight, we will be hearing from some of the victims. These are students who have been hurt the most by the actions of these thugs. And they are here to share their stories with us. As you listen to them, I want you all to ask yourselves this. Were those bullies thinking of the pain they caused? Were they thinking when their victims cried? Were they thinking when these poor vulnerable young people begged? Hell no. That's right. I want you to remember that. Remember how those bullies showed these brave victims no mercy. And please, give them all a big round of applause as they tell their stories. And now, I'd like to introduce you to our first speaker, Eliezer Brockovich. Come on over, Eliezer.
Before I start, I want to thank Mrs. Sinclair for letting me speak. And also, I want to thank my grandmother Mina for being there for me when those bullies were putting me through all the BS that you're about to hear.
We're all so proud of you, Eliezer.
Thank you, Bobby. So anyway, it all started when I was going through my usual routine with the debate team. We were in the multipurpose room, practicing. And all of a sudden, I see Harrison. He was just standing there, watching, smiling at me. It was really weird. But I didn't think about it all that much. He was a popular kid. I thought he was supporting me. We were debating about security cameras in schools, and if they're an invasion of privacy. I was in favor of the cameras. And after the debate, I was going to suggest to the student council that we install more. But I guess those motherfuckers didn't like that, or else they would have been exposed. So they cornered me in the hall. Said some bullshit about me missing my payments. But I'd never even spoken to Harrison before. Or any of his friends. I couldn't pay them that time. My parents only ever give me money for lunch. I have to earn my own money myself if I want to spend it on anything else. So, after bumping me on the shoulder for absolutely no reason at all, they left me alone. But then, the bullying started. When I kept refusing to pay them, Harrison himself would beat me up. He would also stalk me when I was out with friends. He would drive up next to me in his car and follow me. He would just sit there, smiling, and continue to follow me. It was so stupid. And every time I called him out on it, he would try to paint me as the bad guy. He would just make up shit, saying he was going for a coffee, or to the store. And that it's not his fault that I happen to be everywhere he goes.
That's exactly what happened to my son.
I tried to tell people what he was doing. But nobody believed me. He was too popular. And I didn't know that he had other victims. Eventually, I was too scared to go to debates. I think he started a rumor about me or something. My friends didn't want to hang out with me anymore. I had to leave class early. Because otherwise he'd have one of his gang waiting in the hallway to demand money that I didn't even have. And then, Can I stop here?
That's fine, dear. You've been very brave. Thank you for sharing with us. Everyone, please give Eliezer a big round of applause.
Fight that Mercer kid. Fight all those bastards.
And now, let's welcome Hunter Jensen. Hunter?
Thank you. What if I told you that when you fight back against these assholes, because they make fun of you and call you ghost boy and all this other crap, when you smash one of them right in their stupid face, they come back, 5 of them, and beat the absolute shit out of you?
Cowards, that's what they are.
And every time I passed him in the hallway, he would make loud mooing sounds at me. And soon, he got a bunch of other girls to do it too. One day, I had enough of it, and confronted him and told him to stop it. All he did was laugh at me, so I shoved him against the wall. But who's the one that got in trouble? Me. For instigating a fight. Not Harrison Mercer. Everybody thought the perfect little angel couldn't possibly do anything wrong.
And do not even get me started on all the times they've told me that I probably deserve to be raped just because I wear skirts. Those guys are the most disgusting pigs I've ever known. I have nothing else to say.
And he also called me retard and porket and other hurtful things.
How terrible.
And when my parents went to the principal, he would call Harrison and his gang in, and they would deny saying anything mean to me. The school didn't do anything about them, so I continued to suffer their abuse alone.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Just when you thought those goddamn dirt bags couldn't get any lower. We need to teach them a lesson they won't ever forget.
You're damn right, Jim. Let's run these sick bastards out of town, just like they did to my family.
Charlene, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, I would. You all heard me correctly. Harrison Mercer and his gang forced me to move my family out of town. It happened back in 2016. My son was in 6th grade at the time, and they bullied him relentlessly. And my daughter was only 2 years old. It was so important for her to adjust to her hometown, to make friends with some of the local children her age. She always had a hard time meeting new people. And now, a lot of her earliest memories will be in a house that she'll never return to. But getting back to my son, I believe that he was the first victim of Harrison Mercer and of somebody else. A boy we never heard from again after we moved. His name is Rufus Dulesky.
I don't believe I've ever heard of this, Rufus Dulesky. Can you tell us more about him?
He was a friend of Harrison's, and the first one that my son Paul had problems with. It started almost right after the school year began. We tried everything we could to sort things out with Rufus. But the next thing we knew, Paul was being targeted by Harrison. My husband and I went to talk to the principal as many times as I can remember. And every single time, all she told me was that the offending students had received the appropriate punishment. But never Harrison. Because apparently, Harrison did nothing wrong. When I picked up Paul from school, Harrison would be standing not too far away, smirking at me and waving. He knew. And he also knew that I couldn't do jack shit about it. In the end, we had to move out of town, just to get away from it all. My father convinced one of his friends in real estate to find us a house in Tyndale Valley for only $500 a month. We had to take out our mortgage. I was fortunate enough that my sisters sent me money to help us out. I can't help but feel like we're to blame for all this. We should have called a lawyer, gotten the police involved, anything. Then, those bastards would have been brought to justice much sooner. But it's too late. The only thing we can do now is make sure that this never happens again. Maybe we didn't do enough to protect these kids who are with us tonight. And for that, I'm sorry. We're all so sorry. We failed in our duties as adults and parents. but never again. Because I will not have my daughter go through the same things my son did. My husband and I are fully committed to Parents Against Bullying. And let me tell you this. I may not know where Rufus Dulesky is right now. But together, we will find him. We will find each and every one of those horrible excuses for human beings. And we will make an example out of each of them. Because if there is one group that you never mess with, it's us parents. The school, the bullies, they will all see what happens when they dare to hurt our children. Thank you.
Come on, babe. Let's get you some water.
Thank you, Charlene. So, our agenda is as follows. First, we're gonna sue the school district, for all it's worth. Second, we're gonna sue Travis and Ellen Mercer, and get them removed from their positions on the council. And third, we're gonna find every single one of those bullies, and make an example out of them. We'll sue the living fuck out of them too if we have to.
Yes. A good old-fashioned run-in with the law will show those misogynous.
But first, we need to identify each one of those thugs. I now direct your attention to the screen behind me. Rachel, sweetie?
You press this button, Mom.
Oh, thank you, dear. Now, take a look at these four individuals. We all know who that monster standing front and center is. Harrison Mercer, the mastermind behind these grotesque attacks on our children. But can anyone tell me who the other three are?
I can tell you, Mrs. Sinclair. The one on the far right is Dwayne Stevens. The one on the far left is Randall Barkley. They're the ones who helped Harrison beat people up.
Yeah, Harrison's such a weakling on his own, that he needed those other two cowards to even stand a chance against my boyfriend.
Alright, that's two more of those bastards in court. And what about the fourth one in the gray sweater? What's his name, and what's he done? Anyone?
Mom, if I tell you his name, please don't sue him.
Why? Who is he?
His name's Dominic Hollister, but he hasn't done anything.
Right, say no more. He sued. Charlene, wait up. I just wanted to say that it's been so good to have you here.
Of course, thank you for the invitation.
Fernando, I don't believe we've officially met yet. Janet Sinclair. Charlene and I knew each other back in school.
It's nice to meet you, Janet.
Likewise. So, did you both enjoy the meeting?
Yes. It pleases me to know that we're bringing all these bullies to justice. I had no idea about that Ethan boy though. Paul never mentioned him.
And, I had no idea about Rufus. I know you haven't seen him in a while. But, nobody I ask seems to know him, except for you. Where do you suppose he could have gone to?
Honestly, Janet, we don't know.
I tried to get Paul involved. But, he didn't seem to want to be a part of it. That was fine. But, now that I know Rufus is involved, your son is our only chance to find him. We need to achieve full justice. Otherwise, a new crop of bullies will keep popping up. And it'll be like a game of whack-a-mole.
Paul is only just getting over all this. Please, give him a few weeks. I'm sure he'll tell us on his own time.
I hope we have a few weeks, Fernando. Lawsuits take time to set into motion. I understand though. We have other plans for PAB at the school soon. Perhaps he'll help us then.
Fernando.
Sorry, just checking the time. It's almost 10. We shouldn't leave Paul and Talia alone much longer.
I understand. I won't keep you two any longer. Have a good night.
Good night, Janet.
Remember, we cannot achieve full justice until we find Rufus Dulesky.
I agree. We'll speak again soon.
I'm sorry, I'll see you both later. We'll have to talk again soon, Charlene.
Charlene. You don't think that this whole thing is just us being, well,
The bigger bullies?
well, yeah.
Honey, this isn't the same as you in high school. You got over that years ago.
They bullied me for a year. And I became them. The same thing happened to my son. It's not easy, you know.
Listen, Fernando. Tonight wasn't.
I know. We have to see this PAB thing through. If we do it right, it'll do a lot of good for the town. Especially with all those kids in the east neighborhoods. But that doesn't change the fact that this whole meeting was just rabble-rousing. We can't just address the symptoms of a problem. We have to fight the cause.
We're a pressure movement, honey. The reason those bullies got away with it for so long was because there were no consequences. The teachers couldn't do anything, the parents couldn't do anything, and they knew it. Look. The point is simple. To prevent people from bullying altogether, we need to make it so that it's too risky. If bullies fear consequences, they won't do it. To them, an hour's detention is worth it, if they can make someone's day miserable. But once they see those lawyers, once they lose everything, they'll realize that all those times they even dared to touch our son, and all those other kids, were not worth it at all. Their lives are as good as ruined. They made that choice. Now, it's our job to make it happen.
Charlene, stop. Look. I agree we need to show them that there are consequences. But we also have to know where to draw the line.
Forget it. Let's just go home. We'll talk about all this tomorrow.
All right. But, the longer we ignore the problem.
I know. I'll bring it all up with Janet later. Let's just drive, okay?
Okay.